everybody, it's Nina. Thanks for joining me today for a new tutorial featuring the Simon Says Stamp and Memory Box STAMPtember 2019 exclusive stamp set. And I'm using not only the stamp set, but the coordinating die as well to create a fun shaped card because I gotta tell you, this stamp is humongous. It was one of the most exciting parts of this entire stamp set. I'm a huge fan of Memory Box, but this stamp set in the large size really won me over big time. I love how big it is because you can fill an entire card with this stamp, or you can stamp a portion of it and create a really beautiful corner swag of florals. There's so many different things you can do. But because we have a coordinating die for this set, this allows you to make even more amazing things with this giant stamp set. So I'm going to stamp these flowers from the set onto some watercolor paper and color them in. I'm using a more looser style of coloring for this particular floral image because it has a really nice sketchy feel. So that's the look I'm going for with the coloring. However, you can color this in any way you want. You can use any medium you want. If you want to color it with Copics or pencils, you can do that too. Any paper you're using, just make sure it works for the medium that you're working with. Because I'm using watercolors, I'm using watercolor paper, so that's what I'm going to end up creating my card base out of. Now the unique thing about this card is that these florals are coming off of the left-hand side of my card. Because of course I want a card that opens left to right, like a side fold card base. Now, this particular floral I have stretching out to the size of a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch piece of paper. So this is going to fit into a regular A2 sized envelope. I did that on purpose so that way I knew that this shaped card would fit into an envelope and still be able to be mailed. So when you're planning for where you want your floral swag to go, just bear in mind that you need to start off with a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch card if that's what the size you're going for is. And then anything that fits inside of that particular sheet of paper will fit into your envelope. And you can still mail this without any issues. As I continue coloring in the florals, I'm mixing up some colors here and creating some beautiful greens and purples. And I'm using a fun combination of colors that I have in my palette, which is a mix of Daniel Smith and Prima watercolors. I will continue coloring in all of the images and then I will let this dry really well so that way I know that the coloring isn't going to get messed up when I go to die cut this from my coordinating die. Now this coordinating die is available as a set, or you can buy just the stamp set if you don't want the dies. Speaking of that die, this is where I later on, after letting everything dry, took my watercolor paper and my floral panel, and I'm layering this behind another piece of watercolor paper. And I'm going to tape these two sheets of watercolor paper together so that I can start die cutting. The coordinating die is going to fit over top of my florals, and I'm going to tape this down too so it doesn't shift. And I'll run this through my die cut machine. This is only going to cut through the top layer of the paper. However, the reason I sandwiched two pieces of paper together is so that I have the other side of my card base. That piece already has the die cut lines embossed into it. So which means I can just fit that die right back over top of my embossed lines and it'll cut out that floral pattern in the exact same spot that the front was cut from, which makes this so easy. Alright, so now that my back side of my card base is created, I'm going to score the card base and create a score line about a 1/2 inch from the edge where the fold is going to be. I'm putting a little bit of adhesive on the left side of that fold and then layering my floral panel on top of that. After I give this a nice little crease, this will create my awesome little card base that is shaped and creates such a unique design to this card. So at this point, I just need to add some sentiments. I brought in one of the sentiments from that STAMPtember exclusive set and I embossed that onto some navy cardstock. And I'm also adding another memory box die. This one says celebrate. And I'm going to pair that with the happy birthday greeting for a fun little stacking of sentiments. My last little bit of embellishment was to go ahead and take some sequins, and I layered a few of the new Blue Moon sequins from Simon Says Stamp here and there around the florals for a little subtle sparkle and shine. And then that's going to do it. I hope that this card has inspired you to create with this new Simon Says Stamp and Memory Box STAMPtember exclusive, because this set, I have to tell you, is gorgeous. And I think you are going to have so much fun creating with it, because I know I sure have. Thanks for tuning in. I will be back again very soon with more inspiration for you. But until next time, have a wonderful day. Bye!